honestly, I like, you know what? Like, I know people joke about it and everything, but women really got to start carrying some weapons, bro. Because like, it's a crazy thing that this is the reality that women are actually gonna have to start doing this because this is how many creepy niggas is out here. Because it's not just famous niggas, it's creepy niggas that go to school. It's creepy niggas that are just in your everyday life that you work with, shit like that. It's creeps out here, bro. And to
Mm-hmm.
protect yourself has to be the first priority. Like
And
I'm
you
gonna
know
definitely have
what?
my daughter protecting herself.
And you know what's crazy, man? We gotta put this on our sons too. Like we gotta protect our daughters.
Yeah.
We gotta teach our sons. You know, this shit is not cool, right? Even when I was going to Morehouse, I know of two, I know of two people who caught rape allegations or whatever, and there's two separate people. I don't think they knew each other,
Hmm.
but one of them I didn't like from the jump. You know how you just meet someone and don't like them, don't like his vibe, don't like his
Hmm.
aura, whatever. And I just know from me, my interactions with him and the way he talked about women, it was like, bro, that the fuck, you know? And I can't run to nobody because I don't have proof that a person is doing this, right?
Right. Right.
Until
Right.
that actual allegation comes out, and then to be like, bro, it's a little rapey, don't you think? That's a little, and you,
Exactly.
nah, for real. And the crazy part is, will men will really sit there and just laugh at it or listen to it and not have no type of action or remove yourself from the situation.
Hmm.
Bro, if you're into that type of shit, that shit is weird. It was a dude, I know it was a dude at Morehouse who used to joke about rapey shit, and I thought that nigga was weird. And I thought everyone who hung out and laughed at that nigga's jokes was weird until some shit came out about that nigga. And I was like, man, that shit makes sense. Bro,
Yeah.
these dudes are blatantly telling what they do behind closed doors. Like you're not smooth enough to get pussy without doing that weird shit.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
just admit it, bro. You're not smooth enough to get the pussy, bro, and leave it at that. I always thought that shit was weird. I always thought niggas who hung around them niggas was weird. I always thought niggas who laughed at these niggas jokes was weird. Bro, you're not cool to me. You know, the whole
Yep.
school, you might have the whole school full, or you might have your little circle of friends, your little posse. They might think your shit is cool, but to me, how I grew up, how I was raised, how I think that shit is not cool to me, bro. Even joking about that shit, it's not cool, bro. And then that's why I think women feel the way they feel,
Yeah.
unprotected, feel like they can't go somewhere without something happening to them because it's niggas like
Hmm.
this. And it's because really niggas like me too who are allowing this shit to happen, right? It has to be more than me just removing myself from being cool
Yeah.
with you. You know, it
Yeah.
has to be me stepping in and be like, man, I'm not gonna rough a nigga up or something, right? I mean, it
Nah, if I see
depends.
some shit, you gonna get roughed up.
Yeah, if I see some shit, if I see you
Exactly.
doing, if I,
Rough
Bro,
them
you
up.
gonna get roughed
if
up. You
I,
gonna
no,
get
I'm
roughed
saying
up.
if I see you doing it, if I see you in the action of doing it, I'm a rough you up. But if you making, rapey jokes and shit like that, I'm not about to beat you up over some shit like that. I probably just be like, bro, that shit ain't cool. You need to reevaluate yourself and just, I'm not
Y'all
gonna fuck
niggas
with
is
you.
weird.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
all
fuck
y'all
with you.
niggas laughing. Yeah,
You know
for
what I'm
real.
saying? And so, a lot of us, we're enablers, bro. We're enablers without
Yeah.
knowing we're
A
enabling it.
lot of it. A lot of it. And I noticed with these different hierarchies and be it the AUC, different campuses, if
Hmm.
you're in a certain organization, if you're Greek, if
Hmm.
you're this, if you're that, you now have your whole organization defending bad behavior. Like
Man,
we
talk
all
about
just
it.
acknowledge, like, listen, men are creeps. Not all,
Yes.
but most. Many of
Yes.
some of y'all are creeps.
Most, I'm not gonna say most.
I wouldn't. No, I don't know. It could be most, bro. I think
I'm not gonna say
honestly,
most.
I could see most because it's like
It's
the volume of like altercations that have been happening and being called out is
exactly, and it's so
alarming.
But
many even talked about.
see,
Like,
I don't like to say most because are we really looking at, do we have an actual factual number of the volume compared
no,
to how many men there are?
not protecting black women. It's not talked about the amount of
Okay,
cases
let's so
that were
let's
reported,
transition into that. Let's transition that.
the
Okay,
bigger.
even talking about this Trey Songz situation, the Kiki Palmer situation came up about we didn't believe her at the time, or not that we didn't believe her, but maybe people laughed it off or whatever because it's Trey Songz, sex icon,
Hmm.
whatever. And then so
Right.
now so that's a part of not believing or not protecting black women. And then we get into this Meg situation that just happened a couple of days
Yeah.
ago. She comes out on live and confirms that Tory Lane was the one who shot her, whoop de whoop. And so that's only because people were saying, his publicist was coming out saying that she hit him and blah, blah, blah. or that people on the media were coming out saying, "Oh, well, you didn't really get shot because you're out and about and whatever," and then for her to come out and say that, and then people calling her a snitch, which is crazy in itself, right? So now it's black women don't feel protected. Now, Leah, I want you to tell us why and how you all don't feel protected, and just share your thoughts on this I guess this climate that we're in right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a new thing. This has been going on for years, of us having different stories, be it the rape or anything where we're not protected, harassed, abused, or whatever. We come out, let people know. And it seems like the men are they're defended. Like, it's like their voice against ours. You have like Kavanaugh. You got people all over Supreme Court, all different levels that are doing these things. And when they're caught, or multiple, you have 50 to 60 women come out, and it's still not viable. It's still not a case. So just, for our word to not even be believed is an issue. Like, for us to literally, you have to be very vulnerable to even talk about something like that. And for it to not be believed or trusted, or just to not have support all around is very difficult, and that leads to us feeling unprotected. Let's see, just all around, like, when we talk about these celebrities, Trey Songz, R. Kelly, all of these people, I mean, it takes a lot for our cases and for our voices to really be heard. And even when it is, it's still not being heard. So Megan came out way before she even had to make this video and let people know she was shot. We had memes, 50 Cent, all kinds of people joking about this lady being shot. Like, I don't understand that. Like, why is she not protected? Why aren't you guys sheltering her and giving her love in such a vulnerable time? Like, why is this funny that she just got shot by this black man? And I don't know, I'm not on Twitter, so I saw very few people condemning Tory for what he did. And you're saying his publicist said she hit him. Why does that mean you shoot her? Like, that makes no sense to me. So I just think it is the job of black men to protect black women. I just don't see it being done right now.
Right.
I mean, think about the last time we actually saw like a collective of black men protecting a black woman. So I'll say from a celebrity aspect, that last time I remember seeing like a collective of, yo, this woman needs to be protected, was Lauren London, right? And the only reason she only needs to be protected is her relation to Nipsey Hussle being dead, right, and being shot and killed. The only time niggas really want to band together to protect a woman is her relationship to another man. If Lauren London was just a regular, was married to a regular guy that just died in the street, like many are, there's no collection of black men gathering around and protecting that woman. That's not what happens, right? I mean, it's a sad story. It's a sad reality. I have a lot of female friends, so I've been close to a lot of these situations of hearing how many I think we all know a woman in our life that has been, in a situation of violence, whether that's sexual violence or just violence in general. I think we probably all know one woman who has been through that, which is sad when you think about it, right? I mean, it goes back to like when I was a kid and they were like, yo, how many of y'all know someone who's been shot and killed, right? Depending on the school, depending on the environment you come from, there's a lot of hands or it's not. How many of y'all have a single parent household, things like that, right? It takes those type of exercises to really see how large and pervasive the problem is, right? When you think about it, it's a lot of women out here are suffering in silence and aren't being listened to. So, it's gonna take the men, like you just said, stop being enablers. And I don't understand how that's such a hard thing to wrap your head around. If you can wrap your head around saying, police officers are banding together to protect those bad apples, right? And if you see that from an organizational standpoint, and you're seeing how police officers literally band together, it's a brotherhood, it's a code of ethics, right? And we're saying that's wrong. If we can say that as black people can say, yo, that's a wrong exercise to do, why is it that in these organizations you're doing the same thing? You're protecting the bad apples for the sake of the name of the organization, but you don't realize that in that act of protecting the organization, Greek, whatever it is, you're tarnishing the name again, right? It goes back to that topic of tarnishing the name, because you're letting these other guys get away with this bullshit, which is absolutely just foul to me. It's foul.
Right.
I don't care what group you're tied to or what organization you're in. You need to hold your mans accountable. Like, I don't care what you do or what title you have. You need to hold him accountable for what he did. And
Yes.
I just think that 5 to 7, 10 to 15, 30 to 40 women would come out and just make up things. Because you have people saying, why they're trying to tear the black man down and all of this stuff. But, like, it's not about you right now. It's about the women. Let's listen. Just listen. Sometimes that's all it takes. And
so sometimes I feel, let me just play, JG, devil's advocate here.
Here we go.
No, nigga, you playing devil. That's what you playing. Devil, my brother.
Controversial take. Actually, I don't think it's that controversial. I agree with everything you guys said, but I think I try to be mindful of narratives that are created against especially people of color, especially within our community. And also, I think a lot of stuff that happens today is deep-rooted in trauma from slavery. I think that has a lot to do with why we act the way we act and why we do the things we do. And I think it goes back to my point about why we look to celebrities. Granted, the Meg and Tory situation is very unfortunate, and it shouldn't be that way. But because a few rappers or entertainers don't speak out on the situation, does that mean that black men don't care about black women? Why do we look at celebrities for these type of takes? Why do we look at celebrities to come out and say something, right? Just because if you go on Twitter, you'll see loads of men coming out, Tory's whack, Tory's lame. Even when it first started happening, Tory's whack. We would never do that. We gotta protect them. And I know our black women definitely feel unprotected, but I don't want just because a celebrity, no one speaking out on some celebrity business means that the overall population of black women should feel unprotected, or black men should feel that they're under attack because women feel this way about us, right? And I think that comes to my point about narratives, as if you read something so many times, you start to believe it. If you read every day that black women aren't protected, you're going to start to believe it. If you read every day that black men ain't shit, you're going to start to believe it, correct? So I just try to be mindful and cognizant of these type of things, just based off of my own experiences and seeing black love in my community and black love around my friends and my family, right? And it's no way for me to just sit here and believe that, man, like I don't think all men are suckers. Now, do I think there's a bad few? Of course. I think there are a bad few of black women, bad few of black men, right? But I think you'd be hard pressed to find, I think majority of black men will come out and protect their women, protect our sisters, our mothers, our queens, right? I mean, we get those viral videos every now and then of some guy, like I know that guy in Harlem fucking hit a girl with a skateboard, right? And people just stood around and didn't do nothing. That's fucked up. Right? Someone should step to that man and be like, bro, no, we're not accepting that. That shit is unacceptable. But I think those are like, I know it happens every day. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it doesn't. But I just think it's just so far and few, I don't know if that makes sense, but I just think that our women, we need to do a better job of, I guess, relaying the message that you guys are protected. And just because you see a couple events that happen to, that blow up or go viral, I don't want it to come across as we don't care about you guys, Because I think the vast majority of us do. I really do. I really wholeheartedly believe the vast majority of black men care about black women. But because we have these narratives in the media, I think that has trickled into everyone's mind that, man, we don't care, or, we not shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, John, like, I feel like it's actually the opposite. If anything, what is far and in between, bro, is the protection of black women. Because there are stories, I'm not going to act like there aren't stories that are actually going viral of black men protecting black women. Because when you hear about the story of the black woman and she's a single mother who moved into this like small white suburb, and she was getting KKK threats every day, right? And then for weeks, black men were outside of her house protecting her home, right? And now we've just gotten to where those people who are doing the threats have finally been arrested, right? So that's a great, highlight in this, in this climate of black women not being protected. But ask yourself, how many times have you seen that type of narrative versus how many times you've seen women be harassed in groups of men, right? We all know that a woman is probably the most vulnerable when she goes to the goddamn gas station.
But
you know what I'm saying? Like, she
right.
gets harassed, she gets the cat calling. Like, no one ever calls that out. There's plenty of videos. I just saw a video of a girl getting her ass smacked, right? In a group of men. And nobody chased that guy. Everybody was laughing at the shorty.
But if we're talking about media, you would put out the negative before you put out the positive. Think of where we're seeing all the Shade Room. They're gonna put out a negative video, but that's where majority of people getting their news from now, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna put out a negative video before they put out anything positive because negativity is gonna get way more clicks. It's gonna get way more reactions than something positive. Now I know shit happens to our women. I'm not gonna sit here and say it doesn't, but I just think I don't want that narrative to get into the head that that we won't protect them or that we don't care about them. I just feel like I just seen too much black love to even let that sap into my psyche. Like I try to separate. I have, yeah.
John. You have.
But my point is saying that it's out here though. It's real. It's really out here, and I think majority of our community has love for each other. And I just think now we got cameras and videos. Obviously, everything is being captured more, but I really do think that the love really outweighs the hate. If I'm being real, Okay. So I like I said, I'm speaking on my own personal experiences. I just, if you read something enough times, you're going to start to believe it, So it's just, I don't want that narrative to just get spread that we don't care. Because then women walk around defensive. Men walk around kind of with your tails tucked between your legs, It's a weird climate we live in now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we just have mutual respect for each other. Like,
right.
It's like this thing with men and ladies have on a little less clothing than y'all seen. It's like, let's go get at that. Let's go try to touch and do all this. I understand it's beautiful, but why do you think you can touch me? Why do you think you can?
Right.
Oh, yeah, yo, bling, blah, blah. Like, I hear all kinds of sounds, whistling. I'm not a dog. Like, come on, have some respect.
Like catcalling.
Catcalling, like, it's just not cute. Like,
just niggas don't know how to approach women no more.
Exactly. That's an issue.
Communication skills are gone.
And I do believe we have love in our community, but how we handle the situations of adversity isn't always the best at times.
Yeah. I think rejection.
Exactly. So if we can get on one accord and hold everyone accountable, then I think we will be great. But we can't dismiss these cases of assault, violence, and all of these things against black women.
No, we can't dismiss
I feel like it's very dismissive sometimes. Just like the R. Kelly thing. It took how many years to get the little docu-series that came out? And these cases happened in the 90s and the 99s and 2000, whatever. And this series came out, which was pretty hard to watch, but look how long. That was 2018 when that came out, just so they could have a platform and a voice to tell their stories. So.
It's Corona, though.